Just everything he does just seems really...
But he is, again, not critical here, but he's grumpy. And he's grumpy because he's had the falling out with Harry.
Yeah.
And he doesn't... I understand the press must be a nightmare for him. And he's in a gilded cage.
I don't mind that.
And I think he probably is one of those people who say, don't suffer fools gladly.
Yeah, I think.
Don't you think that William's got to be the man, the big man, and go and fly over to Montecito and say to Harry, right, I'm locking you in a room. I'm going to be in the room as well. And we're talking for a day until we sort this out. Because I'm your brother.
Nice,
he's got to, hasn't he?
It's whether Harry wants to as well.
Yeah, but it's not William's fault, but it's all gone Humpty Dumpty.
Greetings, Royal Telly viewers. This is your host, Chloe, coming to you with another fascinating discussion. As many of you know, there's been a lot of chatter about the royal rift between Prince Harry and Prince William. One voice that's been particularly vocal on this matter is veteran broadcaster Jeremy Vine, whose commentary has certainly stirred the pot. Today, we'll be dissecting his take on the situation, which, let's just say, leaves a lot to be desired. Stay tuned as we delve into the heart of the matter. Jeremy Vine, a veteran broadcaster, has given his 2 cents on the issue. Now, let's delve into his analysis. First, he paints Prince William as a grumpy character. While we all have our off days, it's a bit simplistic to reduce a complex individual to a single adjective, don't you think? Especially when it's used as an excuse to dismiss serious allegations and concerns. Then there's Vine's second point, urging Prince Harry to pack his bags, say goodbye to his life in sunny Montecito, and return to the UK to sort it out. This is a rather interesting suggestion, considering the fact that Harry left for a reason. His departure was a decision made for the well-being of his family after enduring years of scrutiny and abuse from the press and allegedly even from within his own family. And finally, Vine's third point, the cherry on top, it's not his, William's, fault. Now, this is where things get a bit tricky. It's an easy claim to make, but it sidesteps the issue entirely. The truth is, relationships, especially those within families, are complex. They're influenced by a multitude of factors, and it's rarely as simple as pointing a finger at one party or the other. Now, let's critically evaluate these points. Is it fair to label Prince William as merely grumpy? Is it reasonable to expect Prince Harry to uproot his life once again, especially when he's finally found a sense of peace and stability? And is it accurate to say that Prince William bears no responsibility in this strained relationship? Or are these points just a convenient way to redirect attention, deflect blame, and maintain the status quo? As we delve further into this analysis, remember that the aim here is not to vilify or hero worship any individuals. Instead, we're here to critically examine the narratives that are being presented and to question the motivations behind them. Because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to understand the world a little bit better, aren't we? As we examine these points, we uncover a level of hypocrisy that requires further exploration. Is this the same Jeremy Vine who has repeatedly acknowledged on his own platform that Prince William and his office briefed against Harry and Meghan Sussex? The evidence is irrefutable. Harry's own testimony in his Netflix documentary and other platforms reveal a shattered foundational pact he and William made to never brief the press. Yet William not only breached this pact, but also permitted his aide to present evidence against Meghan in court, even sanctioning the submission of her private messages to aid the Daily Mail. It's a fact that multiple journalists have admitted to receiving their anti-Sussex material directly from Kensington Palace. Now, how does a journalist of Vine's supposed caliber reconcile these two facts? By conveniently overlooking the glaringly evident root cause, the heir complex ego, the profound lack of empathy, and the inherent entitlement that governs William's actions. Instead, Mr. Vine executes a remarkable pivot. He proposes that the victim, the survivor who finally carved out a joyful, healthy life for his family, away from the maltreatment, should return to the gilded cage, Vine's own acknowledgement that the palace is a prison. He's suggesting that Harry willingly re-enter the orbit of his abuser, who is clearly still tormenting him, just for a few hollow promises and a cordial cup of tea. It's utterly nonsensical. Mr. Vine, you're admitting that the British monarchy is so reliant on the star power and global significance of the Sussexes that it can't survive without Harry. Yet, you're insisting that Harry jeopardize his safety and mental health to support it. It's the pinnacle of self-serving media hysteria. This brings us to the question of Harry's return to the UK. Could Mr. Vine be any more audacious in suggesting that the media must be a nightmare for the poor, grumpy William? Let's get real. Let William spend a single day in Meghan Sussex's shoes, with the media perpetuating racist agendas, concocting stories and scrutinizing her every action. William is an active player in this game. He is not the principal victim. Vine suggests Harry should return to the UK, a suggestion that deserves critical analysis. It's a spectacular pivot indeed. Vine is suggesting that the survivor, Prince Harry, who has painstakingly built a happy, healthy life for his family away from the relentless abuse, should return to what Vine himself refers to as the gilded cage. This suggestion is tantamount to asking Harry to willingly walk back into the hands of the abuser, who evidence suggests is still very much engaged in the act of abusing him. All for what? A few hollow promises and a comforting cup of tea? The logic here is dizzying. Vine's proposal seems to be rooted in the belief that the British monarchy is so reliant on the global relevance and star power of the Sussexes that it cannot stand on its own without Harry. But what Vine is really demanding is for Harry to sacrifice his well-being, his safety, and his peace of mind to keep the monarchy afloat. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the epitome of self-serving media panic. And then there's the audacious insinuation that the media must be a nightmare for poor, grumpy William. This is not just laughable, it's downright ludicrous. Let's see how William would fare walking a day in Meghan's shoes, where the media has spent the better part of a decade pushing racist agendas, fabricating stories, and scrutinizing her every breath. William is not the victim here. He's an active participant in this game. And finally, we come to the punchline of Vine's analysis. It's not his fault. William is not incapacitated. He has the means and the ability to reach out to Harry and mend their relationship. His reluctance or lack of genuine attempts to do so speaks volumes about his priorities. Harry is right to be wary. This brings us to the portrayal of William as a victim. Vine's portrayal of William as a victim is another point that demands scrutiny. You see, the media has long treated William with kid gloves, while Meghan Sussex has faced a relentless onslaught of criticism, slander, and racism. This stark contrast is not an accident. Let's take a moment to consider the media's portrayal of William. Often he is painted as the stoic, responsible future king, shouldering his duties with grace. But at the same time, he's also presented as this grumpy figure, burdened by his brother's actions and the media attention they garner. Quite the dichotomy, wouldn't you agree? Now let's compare that to Meghan's experience. From the moment she entered the royal sphere, Meghan has been scrutinized, vilified, and hounded by the press in a way that no other royal has. Her every move, every word, every outfit, every expression has been dissected and often twisted into something negative. Yet Vine and his ilk suggest that the media must be a nightmare for William. Sorry, but that's laughable. The media has been a tool for William, a cloak under which he hides and manipulates narratives to his advantage. He's not the victim here. He's a participant in this twisted media game. And let's not forget, William has been complicit in the media's treatment of Meghan. He's allowed his office to brief against her, approve the submission of her private messages to aide the Daily Mail, and has done nothing to counter the narrative that she is the villain in this tale. He's not just a bystander. He's an active player. So when Vine paints William as this grumpy victim, it's not just inaccurate, it's a gross misrepresentation of the facts. It's an attempt to shift the blame, to absolve William of his part in this saga, and to paint Harry and Meghan as the instigators. Finally, let's address the point of it's not his fault. Vine's argument that it's not his fault is our final point of discussion. Let's be clear. William's fingers aren't tied and his phone isn't frozen in time. If he genuinely wished to mend the relationship with Harry, a simple call or a heartfelt message could bridge the gap within seconds. Yet, the silence is deafening, or any attempts to communicate have been purely for show, indicating where his priorities lie. It's not about mending bridges, but about maintaining appearances. Harry's decision not to trust him seems to be the only logical one. And yet, Vine and others would have us believe that William is the victim here, that he is somehow absolved of any responsibility. This is a clear case of commentators like Vine sustaining this feud for their own benefit. The narrative they spin is not only misleading, but it's also damaging. In conclusion, the feud seems to be sustained by commentators like Vine for their own benefit. Today, we have critically examined Vine's commentary on the royal rift. We've dissected the hypocrisy, the audacity, and the sheer lack of emotional intelligence in his analysis. We've debunked the suggestion that Harry should return to his abuser and highlighted the real nightmare faced by Meghan. We've also pointed out the simple truth. It's not his fault, it's William's choices. Thank you for joining us on Royal Telly. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.